It's a if. You have 2 toxic items.
I have to play.
You do? You're a child. Perhaps I should try this entire day with Southern accent.
That would be good. And throw 'em up.
Don't forget your glasses,
Get throw 'em up.
Mackie. Oh, what?
Now you're gonna have an issue. Yeah. I know, it's horrible. Diaper change? You and your diaper change. There you go. Crisis averted.
Okay.
They should be getting the feed because it's live. Live from Fort Collins.
Back to the same thing where I'm getting texts, but I'm not getting, okay, she's coming. I'm not getting any sound. Even though I have my ringer on and I'm getting,
Sure have.
yeah, it's
Live from Fort Collins. It's Tuesday morning. Remember when I got this stuck up there?
No, that's stuck. Oh, yes.
The other one?
Yes, I do. Yeah, who is it?
Hi, Tina.
Yeah?
Tina, this is Danielle. I'm the social worker. We had spoken on the phone about an appointment.
Oh, I forgot all about that. Yeah, hi.
Oh, no.
So sorry, let me let you in. I don't want my neighbors to know my business. Yeah, come on in, Danielle. Hey, this is my son, Mikey.
Hi, Mike. Hi, I'm Danielle.
This is Cheryl, my little girl. God, I'm so sorry. I gotta go to work. I got like about 40 minutes and then I gotta go to work. I completely forgot. And
Okay.
so can we reschedule or something like that?
So I know you're really busy and you've got to get to, I hear that you've got to get to work. I'll be really mindful of your time. Are you okay if we just meet for a few minutes, maybe while you get ready?
Well, I don't understand exactly what this is all about either. I mean,
Yeah.
what the heck is this? I mean, what did you tell me?
Yeah, and you're right. It's really complicated. So do you mind if I sit down and I can explain a little bit about our
Well,
process
I
to
kind of
you?
want to know more what this is. I mean,
Okay.
what's human services?
So I work for Boulder County. I'm a social worker. And
Yeah.
kind of the way our process works is we get calls from anyone in the community can call us
Yeah,
and tell us about worries or concerns that they have for families in their community. Okay, so
Mhm.
when we get these calls, it's my job to come out and talk with the family, really hear what you have to say and what your perspective is about what the call was.
so who was this?
So that's a really good question. So I know it feels really bad to know that someone's calling about your family and you don't even know
Yeah.
who they are.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you that by law, I'm not allowed to tell you who the reporting party is and who calls. That's protected. It's not up to me. I'm
So
not
are
allowed
you
to
gonna
tell
take my kids?
No, so today, Tina, that's a really good question. So that's not my goal today at all. I'm here just to get to know you guys. I'm just meeting you for the first time today. Taking kiddos from their home is never something that I want to do. I think that, as long as kids can be safe at home with their parents, I think they do better with their families.
Yeah.
And I have to
Oh,
let
yeah.
you know though, Tina, that, that's something that we have to do in situations where kids just really can't be safe at home. But I'm hoping that today I can just get to know a little bit about you and your family, your kids, and just kind of see how things have been going for you.
Well,
Okay.
I can do that, I guess. Yeah, I'm happy to talk to you until they're gonna text me and tell me when I have to go in there.
Oh, okay, to work.
And give me a little warning, hopefully. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's really weird to have some person because, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, I took my kids out of a bad thing. I mean, there's really a lot of shit coming down at home, and I took them out of that, and we came here. And I'm not sure we're a whole lot more better off, but I'm a very protective mom, and that's why I'm here. So,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry.
glad you did
Like
more
I
about
said,
this,
I didn't clean up or nothing
that's
because I
okay.
completely forgot about
That's
it.
totally okay. That happens.
My
Not a
brain
big
is
deal.
just not working right these days. I don't know.
Well, that's the time
It's
to
been a
talk more
weird
about
time.
that. So Tina, while we talk today, it can be really helpful for me. I'm going to take some notes. I'm happy to sit next to you. You can see anything I write down, okay?
Oh yeah, I don't care. I got nothing to hide.
Okay, great.
I'm
So
fine.
like I said, today it's really my hope to just hear more about some of that stuff that you just said you've been going through, how things have been going for you guys. Another really
We've been having a hard time.
Yeah, and I want to hear more about that because another part of my job, Tina, is to talk with families about what things have been hard for them, to see what I might be able to offer you that could be helpful. So the county has a lot of resources that are really cool.
See, I don't know nothing about this because
Yeah.
I never had to use anything like that before, like any kind of resources or support. I mean, him and me have been together as a team. I mean, since he was born, we've always worked together and worked hard, and we've always gotten through a lot of hard shit. And so I've never had to ask anybody to help me.
Right. Okay.
And so I don't know even where to start because we do need some help here.
Right. And I'm happy to kind of guide you through that a little bit. Mikey, I'm Danielle.
Hi.
I'm a social worker. So that means that it's my job to talk with kids and families. So I talk to kids and families every day and just hear about your life and kind of what you like to do, how things are going, and see what things I might be able to help you guys with, okay? So that's why I'm here to talk to you and your mom today. Does that sound all right? Cool.
Good to me.
All right. So Tina, today, like I said, I'm just gonna hopefully hear more about some of these things that have been difficult for you. And it sounds like you're saying you've been through a lot recently. And I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and just start by telling me a little bit about your current living situation. So how long have you guys been here at the hotel?
Well, we got here 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about where you were before you came here.
I was living with my boyfriend Marvin and the kids. Obviously, this is Cheryl's his kid. She's 3 months old, and you know, it was okay. I mean, there was some stuff, but it was okay. But then I got her home from the hospital, and she was real fussy and cried all the time, and I was just like, what's this? So I took her into the doctor, and she said, well, this is this thing called colic, and so she's gonna cry all the time, and you know, you can try, you just do everything you can for her. You feed her, you change her, you hold her, and she may just keep crying, and it's gonna be hard, but you know, she'll grow out of it. There's really nothing to be done for it right now.
Okay.
So, but Marvin can take that, and so he was just like, here, I can't deal with this, and I can't get her to stop crying. You wouldn't even hold her, nothing.
Okay.
So it was just up to him and me, and so and Marvin starts acting all weird. I mean, he's all of a sudden gone for hours at a time, and he's like smelling weird, and I don't know. I've never seen him like that.
Say more about that.
Well, like he wouldn't shower or nothing, or change his clothes, and he's not usually like that. So he comes home, you know, 3 weeks ago, and he's like screaming at me and him, and then he hauls up and hits me, and so that has never happened to me before. I'm not one of those women where men are hitting them on all the time, and so I'm like, that is it. I'm not, my kids can't be around this, and he did it right in front of him. So as soon as he left again, I just packed up our shit. I threw a bunch of stuff in a suitcase. I grabbed our food stamps. I got some cash, and I left my phone there so he couldn't find me, and I just got a burner. And so I asked the cab guy to take us to a motel where we could stay, and so that's how we got here. So I showed up here with this huge black eye, and it just started to go away. I mean, it's been so painful and swollen, and
gosh, you really have been through a lot.
You know.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And ever since that happened, I mean, I'm just like, I can't really think right, and I feel like I've been hit by a stun gun or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So luckily, I mean, there's this little place down the street. I used to be a waitress before I met Marvin and everything, and so I picked up a couple shifts down at the Z Bar. That's where I work, and I go down there every single night because if I'm down there, they'll give me a shift. They'll throw a shift my way. So I work almost every night. Yeah.
So Tina, I am so impressed by your decision to get your kids out of that situation when it got violent. I think that's a really protective thing that you did, and that's really hard for a lot of people to make that choice.
That's so weird. I can't imagine that. I mean,
For a lot of people, it just is. There's a lot of factors, and it can be complicated. And so I'm just really, it really makes me feel good to see that you're that protective of your kids, that you're, willing to do that. So that's really good.
well, thank you. I didn't really think about it. I just did it. And
Yeah.
so now all my shit's there, and so
Right.
I mean, like I don't have a bed for her now, and
Okay.
she's getting big, and all his clothes, and he's grown out of everything.
Okay.
And
So those
we
are
don't got no car. And every single penny I'm earning down there is going to pay for this place.
Okay. So those are all things that I'm going to come back to. So I'm taking note of that, and we'll come back to that because those are some things that I might be able to talk to you about resources for. Okay, like the clothes and the bed and stuff. So we'll
That'd
come
be
back
great
to
because
that.
I'm kind of in a hole here.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
eating at 7-Eleven,
Okay.
and we can't get nowhere. I'm
Right.
putting everything into this place.
Right. And I think it's amazing that you have a job. That's huge. And so that's a really good thing. We'll come back to some of this other stuff that I might be able to help you with. Mike, can you tell me a little bit about what it was like for you when you guys were living with Marvin? What can you remember?
That Marvin's a jerk, and everything we ever did was whatever Marvin wanted.
Mm.
And then he would like tell you stuff like, you don't want to have a dad, so I'm going to teach you to be a man. And your comic books make you all geeky. And then he goes and hits girls, and it's like, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Mikey, and he likes to be called Mikey.
Mikey, okay, I'm sorry.
I don't, I do not like you calling grown-ups names like that, and it's okay with me if you say that you don't like the way he treated you, but I don't want you calling a grown-up a name. You don't want to become like him. You're right, he's not a good man, but I don't want you calling the grown-ups names like that.
So Tina, tell me a little bit about kind of what, moving forward, would you be interested in talking about housing with me? Is that something that you're...
Oh God, yeah, I mean, because this is just, I can't see, I mean, I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep because I can't see my way out of this now. I'm stuck here. And I didn't even think about that, but how do I get out of here? I'm putting every penny I earn to stay in this place, and it's a shithole. We don't even have a we have a microwave in here and a little fridge, but that's the only way we can cook.
So it sounds like you're feeling like there's really no way out of this.
Yeah.
Have you thought about kind of moving forward what you're thinking for housing? Do you have like relatives that maybe you could stay with?
No.
Or any supports here that are nearby? Nobody? Okay. So in terms of housing, Tina, that's something that we can really talk about. There's a lot of different options for housing with the county. So it's not a quick process. So I have to tell you that right up front. It's not something that we can do kind of, in a couple days.
Okay.
But what I can do is I'll bring you, the next time that we meet, I'll bring you the applications for some of that stuff and help you get it started, okay? Because you're working, that's a really good thing. Having a job is really important on some of the applications, so that'll be really helpful for you.
Okay.
And then we'll just kind of get it started and kind of see where it lands. There's a group of folks down at the county that meet weekly to review the applications, and then they get back to us and let us know kind of where they think would be a good fit for you, kind of what, based on income and a bunch of other things like that, where kind of would be the best place to look at, okay? And then they'll get you on a list. So then it's just a matter of waiting, okay?
Yeah.
The other thing
we're okay here. I mean,
yeah,
we're just not saving nothing.
right.
And so I can't do that on my own, like save up for a deposit or something like
Right.
that.
And that's,
So
we
it's
can also
not
help
like,
with that stuff too.
he's got school is just right here,
Okay.
his middle school and stuff, so.
Good.
But that'd be good because maybe there's some place where they have like, I mean, I'm kind of scared of Marvin. I mean, I don't want him finding me, and that's why I left my phone and everything, and I get freaked out when people come to my door and knock on the door, and so.
I'm sorry if I scared you today. I know you said
Well,
you forgot.
I just, I'm just on edge.
Right.
Anyway.
Tell me more about feeling scared of Marvin. So since you left the house, have you had any contact with him at all?
No.
Okay, so he doesn't know where you guys are?
Not that I know of. I
Okay.
hope he doesn't know. I can't imagine how he would know.
Right, okay. So then we'll come back, I'll bring that housing application and we can get it started. Like I said, it's kind of a process, but we can get it going at least so that at least you're on those lists.
Because I just didn't know how to start nothing like that.
Right.
So.
The other thing that I want to talk to you about is that, it sounds like you've been making it here in the hotel, that you've been able with your job to afford it. But I just want you to know that there are places where you can go if there's an emergency and you're not able to pay anymore. So there's a place here locally in our county that's called Safe House. And so it's a shelter. It's for folks who are leaving abusive relationships and have kids. And it's really set up to be kind of an emergency. Like I said, you've been able to pay, and that's wonderful. But if you don't get shifts or you can't afford it, I just want you to know that you have a place that you can go in an emergency situation, okay? So I'm gonna make note of that, and I'll get you their contact information. They can also help with housing. So we can kind of do that on our end. You can also talk with them about it, and they can kind of see if there's other stuff that they know about, just so that you're kind of getting, as much out there as you can for it, okay? So I'll get you that info, just, in case. I'd rather that you have it. If you don't need it, whatever, at least you have it.
No, that'd be good, because I never know. I mean, I go down there and hound them, but that doesn't guarantee that I'm always gonna get in, and I have to have the whole week pretty much to pay for this place.
Right, okay, so I'll make sure that I get you that. Thank you so much for telling me about that. That's a really hard thing that you've been through. And it's really tough to talk about that anyway, but especially with a stranger, so I just really wanna thank you for being honest.
Well, like I said, I don't got nothing to hide, and it was awful, and I don't talk to the people down at the bar, and the people that come in there, they don't wanna hear nothing about shit like that, but. So I haven't been able to talk to anybody about it. It's been 3 weeks, and I'm just here with my kids, and I didn't want, my mom is alive, and my little brother, they're on the other side of town though, and she's sick. She's got diabetes real bad, and she works at Walmart, so it's just not like she can help, and they don't have any housing there. He's got a family, and they're all working to keep mom okay. I wish I could help more with her, but I got enough on my.
Are you in contact with them? Like, do you talk to them just to kind of check in with each other?
We talked on Christmas, but I just didn't want to. Mom is real sensitive to her blood sugar. Will get all messed up if it's with stuff that bothers her or upsets her, and I just didn't want to make her any sicker, and I didn't want Marvin coming after her.
Okay. How about like friends or people from either this job or from other jobs, or people that used to maybe be neighbors? Are there any other people that you kind of depend on for support?
Well, I depended on Marvin, so it's even weirder that I really depended on him for everything. So then all of a sudden he just turns into this. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really tough.
I think he started drinking again.
Drinking again? Tell me about that.
You think he did too, huh?
I know he did.
How do you know he did?
Because I caught him drinking.
Tell me about about his drinking, Mikey. What kinds of things did you see?
He had a bottle, like one of those small flat bottles, and he had it in his coat, and he was drinking it. And I told him, I said, "Oh, you're drinking it. I thought you weren't a drinker." And he said, "Don't tell your mom."
Oh, we told you not to tell mom. Tina, you said drinking again. Tell me about that. Did he stop?
We met in AA.
Okay.
He was clean and sober 6 months when I met him, and so he and I'm 3.5 years clean and sober, and so we met there, and so I've never seen him drunk. Maybe that's what this whole change in him is.
Did you notice anything that other than him being more aggressive that time? Did you notice any other things that made you think he was drinking?
No, I didn't even think about that until just now when we were talking about it, because just that he's gone, and that he's just become really like a street person or something. He's wearing the same clothes, he never showers anymore, and he's just mean. He went from being just kind of a macho to being like mean.
Okay, and that's not what he was like when you met him.
No.
So that's a change. Okay. So tell me, you said you guys met in AA. Tell me about your history with drinking.
Well, I was a bad drunk. When I was in my 20s, I'd go party with my friends at the place I was working. I was working in a restaurant. And we'd just party all day and all night, and I'd pass out and I'd pee myself, and he saw all that. He was just a little boy. I was living with mom then, and mom was watching him. And so I somehow pulled myself out of that and decided it was time to grow up and go to AA, and I did, and I really liked AA, and I made a promise to him that I would never go to that place ever again, and I would never be a sick drunk like that. And
Mikey,
and I made a promise to her too.
Tell me what you can remember, Mikey, about when mom was drinking back then. Like, what was that like for you? What do you remember about it?
She drank all the time.
And you were
fall
like,
down, throw up, black out, pee yourself.
okay, so those are all
Put her to
things.
bed, took her, yeah.
Okay.
I took care of her, so I remember all of it.
So you were living with your grandma when that was happening?
Yeah, but grandma wasn't around because she had to work, and she also was starting to get sick then.
Okay, so it was kind of up to you to take care of mom during that time?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, so Tina, you said that you, kind of looking back at that, have made promises to your kids that you don't want it to get back to that point again.
Yep, that's right. And I haven't had a drink until I got here for 3.5 years. And now I take my shift drink after work, and I'll sit there and have a smoke and just chill because I just need a little me time. And the kids are asleep, and so I can just chill and relax. And sometimes the bartender will send me home with a beer or something like that, just to have here.
Okay.
But
Tell me what that's been like for you as someone who, had been sober for so long. How are you doing with that?
you know what? It's fine. It's nothing like, I don't feel like I'm the same person I was then, and life is completely different, and I'm not even worried about it right now. It's just a drink or two after work.
Okay. So it's like once or twice after work, and is that something that you're doing kind of every day, or just?
Well, every time I work, I
Okay.
get a free drink. I can't afford to buy nothing, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll sit there and have a glass of wine, or I'll bring a little bit of wine home in a bottle, and, he's asleep and she's asleep because he watches her when I work, and so I'm not like taking care of the kids or nothing like that. It's just in the middle of the night after work, so.
Okay. Mikey, what can you tell me about mom's drinking now?
She doesn't drink anything like she used to.
Not like she used to?
Nope.
Okay. How would you know, Mikey, if it was getting back to how it used to be? What kinds of things would you notice?
She'd drink during the day. She'd tell you more lies to make herself feel better. Stuff like that.
Okay. And you're not seeing any of that right now?
No.
Okay. So Tina, it sounds like it was something that you worked really hard to do, and now you've kind of started drinking again. Do you feel like that has to do with your job, or with kind of what do you think is behind that?
Well, the booze is free, so yeah, it has to do with my job, and I think it has to do with it's just been so shocking to have my whole world turned upside down, and I'm just like, I know these guys are counting on me,
Right.
and I'm the only one who's able to get out there and earn money, and I just feel like my brain got knocked around by getting hit, and I just want to sit and do nothing. Is what I really want to do, but I have to work, and I have to get up at 6 in the morning and take care of her all day, and
Right.
so it's just a little time for me to just sit and chill and pretend like I'm a real grown up.
Yeah, I mean, you've been through so much in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So tell me, you said that
And
you
it
were.
helps me sleep. I mean, I
Okay.
come and I come home and I'll have a little glass of wine, and I can go to sleep and get to sleep instead of thinking about where the fuck am I gonna get a crib for Cheryl, and how are we gonna get out of here? It just calms me down a little bit. So I don't know. I really am not worried about it, because if I had to stop, if my job ended or something, and it'd be just like, fine, no big deal.
Okay. If you felt, like it was getting back to that point where it was maybe getting out of control, would you maybe be interested in going back to AA again?
I mean, I just don't got no way to go anywhere. I can't even get to the grocery store, let alone AA.
Okay.
So, yeah, sure. I mean, at some point when things are calmer and we live in a different place, maybe, and maybe I'm back in nursing school, because I would really like to go back to school too.
Okay.
But right now, I'm just like in panic mode.
You're surviving.
Yeah. I mean, and I can't think about getting to AA when I can't even get to the freaking grocery store.
Right. And I think, Tina, the only reason why I brought that up is because sometimes when people have done so much work to get sober for so long, it can just be a slippery slope when, we start drinking again and after being sober for so long. So I just want to make sure that you have the support that you need so that it doesn't get back to that place. Because I hear that you don't want Mikey to see that again. You don't want that for Cheryl. And so I just want to make sure that you have the support around that you need.
I get it.
And Tina, just right now being in your room, I'm noticing that there's some cans, bottles on the ground that are empty. I'm hearing you say that, you're drinking 1 or 2 drinks after work,
Yeah.
right? So, Cheryl right now is not to the point where she's really mobile and able to kind of get a hold of that stuff. But that might be something that we could think about moving forward, just keeping those things out of her reach once she's kind of mobile and getting around. Does that sound okay to you?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I know place is a pigsty. It's just part of me not feeling like I want to do nothing.
Right.
And I need to get this trash out of here, and I keep saying that, but I just never get it done. So.
So you mentioned that when you go to work, Mikey is watching Cheryl. Has that been kind of the plan when you go to work most of the time?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was no plan for him to do nothing like that before, but when we got here, I told him we had to work as a team because I got to work for us to stay here and get away from Marvin. So,
Yeah.
So he watches her. He's trained.
Tell me more about that.
Well, when I was pregnant with her, I put him in a class, in a babysitting class, because I knew I was going to want him to do some babysitting.
Yeah, big brother.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do that with my little brother. So,
okay.
So he went to this thing at the rec center, and he got this certification and everything, and
cool.
He's awesome.
Mikey, that's awesome.
Does everything.
So, Mikey, tell me about that. Tell me how you feel about watching Cheryl when Mom goes to work.
I feel okay.
You feel okay?
Take care of her better than anybody, so.
You do?
Uh-huh.
So what kinds of things do you guys do together when Mom's at work?
Hang out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else is there?
What would you do, like, if she started crying when Mom was gone?
Figure out why she's crying.
How would you do that?
Well, that's how babies talk. So you figure out are they hungry? Do you need to burp them or fart them? Do you need to rock them? Do you need to change their diapers?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah, and you learned all that stuff in your babysitting class that you took?
Yeah.
Cool. Did they teach you how to make bottles?
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Tell me.
Just fill a bottle up to the line, put in 2 scoops. Can't be hot, can't be cold.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be barely warm.
Yeah.
And you have to shake it for a long, long time, otherwise it clogs up the nipple thing.
Okay. Nice. So you're good at feeding her. And what about changing her? You know how to do that too?
Yeah.
You do that a lot. Lots of diapers for baby, right?
Change her more than anybody.
You do?
Yeah.
Mikey, it sounds like you take really good care of her.
I'm the best.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm training her.
Yeah, you are.
She's gonna be my minion.
Your minion, you guys are gonna be best friends, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you guys are already really close. You take good care of her.
Yeah.
Tina, that's awesome. And that really, that speaks to you though, too. How much time you guys have spent together and how you're putting time into that. I mean, that doesn't just happen. We're brothers, big brothers are that good at taking care of baby siblings. So that's really awesome.
No, he's way better than me. I mean, I admit it. He knows what each cry means. And she just loves him. She's just like watches him while he's walking all around.
Yeah.
And smiles, big smile.
That's great. So it sounds like, so Tina, how do you feel about him watching her? You said that wasn't really the plan. And then it just kind of had, it's necessity.
None of this was the plan.
Right.
I mean, it was not what it was supposed to be. So.
Right. So how do you feel?
I feel fine about it. I feel great about it. I don't think I would want anybody else to watch her but him. Because he's just on it. He's great.
Mm-hmm. Good. So when you go to work and you're leaving them alone, if you had to tell me on a scale from 1 to 10, right, where 1 is you're not worried at all, everything's great, you don't even think about it, 10 is you're so worried about what might happen, you can't think about anything else, where would you kind of fall on that scale?
Oh, 1 or 2. I mean, this is not a great neighborhood and this is kind of a shitty hotel.
Okay.
So that worries me, but it's so far, as long as this door is closed, he knows no one comes in his door when he's here, and he's not allowed out there by himself, so they're safe in here. So, I'm not really worried at all. He knows how to reach me. I'm just 2 doors down, working. So,
Mikey, what would you do if you're watching Cheryl? Have you thought about what your emergency plan would be if something happened that was really scary and you needed an adult right away? What would you do?
So what would happen?
So maybe if something happened and you were really worried about Cheryl. Like maybe she was not breathing or she was crying and you couldn't figure out what was wrong and it was an emergency.
Well, crying, the only emergency would happen is if she had a real high temperature, then I call 911.
Okay.
Because just because she's crying, if she's breathing and she's crying, she's okay.
Okay.
If she's not breathing, then you do 5 back steps, high chest compression, 5 back steps, high chest compression, 5 back steps, high chest compression.
Really impressed that you know that.
You call 911 that doesn't help.
Okay.
But those would really be the only adults. I mean, most adults, big deal. I mean, they can't do anything. What am I gonna do? Call an adult in here to call 911?
So it sounds like you kind of have, like, if there's a real emergency, you know when that would be, and then you'd call 911.
Yeah.
Okay. How does that sound to you?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds right to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So Tina, I want to be really transparent with you, like I said when I first came in, just about what the worries were in that call that we talked about. So one of the worries was that the kiddos were being left alone and that there wasn't an adult here with them. And so, you know, what I can say about that is that, you know, the age where older siblings are left with younger siblings, that really varies from family to family.
Mm-hmm.
And it, I think, really depends a lot on how mature and kind of where the kiddo is that's watching their younger sibling.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mikey, in talking with you, it sounds like you are like you're doing a great job taking care of Cheryl. You have a plan, you know what to do if she's crying. It sounds like your mom really feels like you're doing a good job, right? So I feel like, you know, if that's something that you feel okay about, I mean, it's just really something that varies from family to family. Sometimes that's just what has to happen, just with, you know, the circumstances.
Well, yeah, this is just what it is. I mean, it has to happen. Here's what my worry is that, yeah, he's watching her at night, and, you know, it's also been something for him to do. Like, that sounds weird, but, like, I don't let him go down to the basketball court and throw hoops down here because there's drug dealers down there. So he's climbing the walls in here a lot of the time. He comes home from school and he's read these books and he's got his homework, but he can't just go out and burn. Yeah, so it's good for him to have something to do.
Right.
But I would like to get him into something like basketball after school because I can, you know, I've got her until 5:30 or so, and I'm fine with that. So after school, he could go blow off some steam and play basketball or something, but I just can't afford the program at school.
Right.
It's really expensive. And so if you guys have something, or if there's some way you can talk to the school and get him in, or I don't know what, but.
Yeah, so one of the things that we are able to offer sometimes are like rec passes. So like he could go to the rec center, sometimes they've got swimming, basketball, that kind of thing. Mikey, how does that sound for you? Would you be interested in that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it'd be cool. How am I gonna get there though?
That's a good question. So we can also look into bus passes. So maybe you could ride the bus. Maybe you could go after school if there's a place near your school. That's stuff that we can kind of look at and talk about.
That'd be cool.
Cool.
Go kick butt at the rec center.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't have to come here and just be like inside.
Yeah.
Spring's coming and
Getting warm out.
he just deserves to be a kid. He's been such a good, he's really been great with her and really helped out here, so.
Good. It sounds like he's a huge help to you too, like a big support to you.
He's huge, he's huge, it's great.
Okay. So that's something, I'll definitely look into that because we can totally get those for him and then he can kind of go hang out with kids his own age for a while, do some sports, fun things, and then come home and still be, you know, able to help when you're going to work and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So another thing, Tina, that was part of the call and the worry that we talked about was whether or not you would be you're drinking here in the home. And what does that look like? How are the kids? And, you know, we've kind of already talked about that. It sounds like kind of how you're feeling is that it's just, you're doing it after work, it's just a drink or two, and you're feeling like it's not getting to the point where it's a concern.
No,
right now.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay. But you also said, it sounds like you would be willing to go back, you know, if we could figure out logistics of like how you get there, childcare, that kind of thing, that you would be willing to go back to like AA or something like that.
Oh,
if it got to
I liked AA a lot.
Okay. What did you like about it?
Well, I liked just meeting the folks and stuff, and, you know, it was just good to talk to other people who were struggling with alcohol, and I liked not drinking. I mean, I was real happy. Just everything has gotten totally turned upside down right now, so.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I wasn't even thinking about having a drink, so I liked being sober and I liked AA.
That's really good to hear. That's really good that was a support for you and that you'd be willing to kind of lean back into that if it got to that point again. That's really good. And so again, transportation, I hear you say that you don't have a car. So the bus passes is something that we can really help with. So we'd be able to get those for you if you did need to get to like an interview for a different job, or if, you know, when we get kind of a long-term housing plan set up, figuring out how you're going to get to all these different things you have to do, we can help with that. Okay. So that's something that we'll come back to, kind of revisit as we go. So there's one more thing that I'd love to do with you guys today. It's this really cool activity that we sometimes do that tries to make sure that we're hearing the voice of kiddos and that we're asking questions that are kind of where they can give me their perspective. So I'm wondering how you feel, Tina, about me trying that activity, just the three of us together with Mikey.
Okay.
Okay, Mikey, how do you feel about trying something like that? You feel okay? All right, so I've got something for you here that you'll be able to kind of write or draw on. Do you like to write better or draw?
Draw, probably.
Draw? Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you a pen. So here's, oh, it looks like you've got one too. So you can use my pen or yours or your crayons there, whatever you like. And Tina, the way that this works, this activity, and Mikey, this is called the 3 houses, okay? And so as you might guess, they're houses, okay? They're 3 different houses, and they represent different areas of your life, okay? So I'll tell you kind of how it works as we go. And Tina, I'm going to have Mikey actually write or draw on this, and I'll have you and I kind of just talk through yours, okay? Well,
Yeah.
Okay. So Mikey, this is the first one. Let me move your book so that you've got someplace to write, okay? So this one is called The House of Good Things. So in this house, you would write or draw the things about your life right now that are good, that make you feel happy, that you're proud about, that you really like.
Things that are good.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So Tina, while he's drawing his pictures or writing, what kind of comes to mind for you if you were doing this that you would put in your house of good things right now?
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that I got a job and that we're here, even though this is a real shithole. I'm glad we're away from Marvin.
Yeah.
And Cheryl's getting better from her colic. That's real good. I'm real happy about that. She's growing out of it, just like the doctor said she would. And
Okay.
I have an awesome son who has just stepped up to the plate and done everything. And I'm healthy and strong, even though I'm feeling like literally somebody hit me over the head. I just feel like, wow, how did this all happen? But you know, I'll get through it, and you know, I'm strong and healthy, and I can work, and so.
Yeah, I think hearing you say that, you know, your kids are a huge strength for you. The fact that you've got a job is really big. That's amazing. I think the fact that you're here, and like you said, I mean, it's not ideal, and you don't want to be here long term, but you are safe, and you're away from a situation that could have been really dangerous.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think those are all good things.
So yeah, that's good.
Good. Mikey, tell us about what you drew. So what does this mean right here?
A little bit of money Mom does make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her job, she talked about that too. What's that?
Cheryl's not sick anymore.
Okay.
Not like she was.
Right. So you noticed that getting better too.
Big difference.
Do you mean like her crying? Is that what you're talking about?
The colic.
The colic. Okay, so that is getting better. You noticed that.
Yeah.
What's this?
This dump.
So what do you mean about that?
It's better than where we were living, so, and we're not outside living by the dumpster, so.
So you're here, you have a place. Okay. What's this?
My outside jump shot's kicking butt right now.
So when you do have time to play basketball and go, you're good.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm not kidding, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Tina, what would you add to Mikey's house? Things that you notice that he's really good at or that you're proud about him?
Well, he's really good at telling stories about his superheroes and stuff like that from his books, and he tells Cheryl stories, and he's really good at taking care of her and knows everything. He's really knows everything about how to take care of her. So I add those things.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like he's a really, really good big brother for her. I think she's a lucky girl to have a brother like you, Mikey. Okay, here's the next one. Okay, so this house is called the House of Worries. So we all have things in our life that make us feel worried or scared or anxious. So these are the things in your life that make you feel that way. Okay?
Okay.
So I'll let you work on that for a minute. And then Tina, while he's drawing again, what kind of comes to mind for you in that category?
Well, I'm seeing him drawing a bunch of dollars, and you know what? That's my biggest worry is just, you know, the biggest thing is if someone would just show up with a check for like $5,000 or even $400. But I think I told you, I mean, the things that wake me up at night are like, how are we going to get out of this shithole? I mean, this floor is disgusting. There's a mouse in here. It's gross. And I can't see my way out of that. And we need a bed for her that she's growing, and she needs to get out of the suitcase and get into a good bed that's safe for her, because I don't want her falling and hurt herself.
Okay.
So that's what I'm
So
worried
kind of money, housing, and then like Cheryl having a place to sleep that's
Yeah.
for her. Okay.
I mean, then I think about clothes for him. He's grown out of his clothes. She needs stuff like that.
Okay.
those are things that I'm thinking.
Okay. Mikey, tell me about what you drew. So this, I'm guessing, is money. Is that right?
Money, lots of money.
What worries you about not having money?
Don't have a place to stay. Don't get to eat anything that's like good for you. Can't get around or go anywhere. People treat you like crap. Stuff like that.
Okay. So that's a huge thing because you drew 3 of them.
Yep.
Is this Cheryl again?
Yeah, I don't want her to get sick again.
Oh, okay. So worried that even though she's getting better, that she might get sick again. Okay. And then what's that?
Don't want to have to live out by the dumpster.
Okay. So worried that maybe you wouldn't be able to stay here and you'd have to move out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which would suck, especially if it's snowing.
Yeah. Tina, how do you feel about the things that Mikey wrote? Sounds like a lot of them you have, worries too about the same kinds of
Yeah, I
things.
mean, I think we're about the same. I think Mikey worries too much about grown-up stuff like the living by the dumpster, and that's my job, honey, and I promise we won't ever have to live by the dumpster. So you can not worry about that.
Yeah, your mom's doing really good by working a lot. Sounds like you work a lot to make sure that won't happen.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so this is the last one. So this one's called the House of Dreams. So this house is like if you were looking at your house of worries, okay, and you had a magic wand, you could change anything about these worries. What would that look like? And that's what you would put here. Okay? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Tina, what comes to mind for you?
I'm not having very much luck thinking very far ahead about what I'm dreaming about in the future because it's just that same thing. I mean, I was all settled in my life and then everything just got turned upside down and I'm still not recovered from that. So I don't know.
So it's hard to know what that would look like.
Yeah,
for you.
I just don't know.
Okay. That's okay.
Can't think that far ahead.
Right. No, that makes sense. That's okay. Mikey, tell me what you're working on. So this is money again, so you'd hope that wouldn't be a worry anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this?
Go to Disney World.
Disney World? No way.
She
Mikey, Disney World is a really cool place.
went twice. You been there?
I've been there one time.
How old were you?
It was like really recently, like a couple years ago.
But it was still cool.
It was pretty cool, yeah, when I went. Yeah. It's
Wow.
awesome. I like to ride all the rides. Is that what you would like to do?
The rides. I like the characters.
Who's your favorite character?
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
for Disney is Yoda.
Yoda? Really? I love Buzz and Woody. They're my favorites.
They're cool.
I love Toy Story. So you've been to Disney before?
Yeah, my dad took us, me and my little brother, twice when we were little nuts.
Cool.
And so I told him about that and how cool it was.
Mikey, that'd be a really
Is there a
fun
Toy
idea.
Story ride there?
There's one Toy Story ride, yeah.
Which parks?
Well, they have it in Disney World, yeah. And I
Oh.
think Disneyland too. It's just one
But
ride.
Disney World has like a bunch of parks.
Yeah, it's really, really big. Yeah, that'd be super cool. What's this?
Have our own house.
Your own house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe in the mountains by a lake.
Is that what this is?
Go fishing. Yeah.
Fishing. Have you ever been fishing before? That's something you'd like to try?
Grandpa used to go all the time.
Oh, he did? Okay. Did he ever take you with him?
Nope. I was only like 6 months old.
So you were a
when
baby then?
When
Okay.
she died. He died.
So that'd be something you'd like to try. And then is this basketball again?
Yeah, be a pro basketball player.
That'd be really cool. I love it.
Then I could buy Disney World.
You could buy lots of stuff if you were a pro basketball player, huh?
Oh,
Yeah, that's awesome. So it sounds like, hearing you guys both talk about what you would like to see in your house of dreams, that it's a lot of the same stuff. That one of the biggest things I'm hearing from you guys is that housing would be really, really important to work on first.
yeah, it'd be good. I mean, having a kitchen and a room, so he could have his room.
Right.
Room or,
Okay.
yeah.
And so I heard you also mention, Tina, that you're worried about clothing. So that's another thing that we would be able to help with is just kind of getting you some of that stuff. We have a group of folks at the county that meet a couple times a week to just decide, we've got like a fund of money and they kind of distribute like who gets what and what would be good ways to spend that. So we can definitely work on an application for housing, or not housing, for clothing for the kiddos and present that to them, just kind of see what they come back with. Also, a crib would be another thing that we could talk to them about, okay?
Yeah,
Just
that'd
to
be
see.
good.
Okay,
We can just, I mean, even if we can get to Goodwill,
Right.
but we can't get there, so.
right. And then again, like I mentioned, we can help with bus passes if that's kind of the barrier. I don't want that to keep you from being able to get to where you need to go, so we can work on that. Tina, have you ever had anyone like me come and talk to you before from the county? Like a social worker come and meet with you before? Never?
No, never meet with me. I mean, there was a time when he went to school with a bruise on his arm because I grabbed him and made him come back in the house and get his coat.
Okay.
It was winter, and he likes to go out without his coat. And so the teacher saw a bruise on his arm, and they called somebody, and that person called me and said, what happened? And I told them, and then that's all I heard from them. I got a letter after a while that just said, nothing, everything's okay.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so you never had someone come out and really work with you?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
I mean, that's why I just came here, because, I mean, I don't know nothing about that shit, so.
Yeah, no, and I think that from what I'm seeing, Tina, you're doing a really good job of keeping your kids safe. You're making sure that they have, what they need, and that you're keeping them away from a dangerous situation.
Well, thank you.
So I'm
doing the best I can.
I see that, I really do. So Tina, what do you think would be kind of the most important thing for us to work on moving forward? Like the most helpful thing that I could do for you?
Well, besides money,
Right.
I'm most worried about her. I mean, and the rest, everything else can just kind of wait, but she's really good at be rolling over really soon and moving around and stuff, and I want to get her in a safe thing, like a crib or something, where, because that is what I worry about the most.
Okay, so kind of her crib would be like your priority.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more about how she's been doing, kind of her personality, what you're noticing with her.
Well, she was really, really fussy, and so that was really hard, and it was hard on us, but she's really getting to be growing out of that and starting to smile and giggle and look around and stuff, so she seems real smart, and she's real healthy.
That's good. That's really
besides that colic.
Right.
She eats real well, and she's sleeping pretty much through the night.
Yeah, and then one other thing I wanted to tell you about that is that, we got in the call, we heard about, the kids being left alone and some worries about that, but in the same call, I also wanted to just share with you that I heard about how you do really good with her when you're kind of out and about, and how people have noticed that and are really impressed that you were, a really good mom with her when they see you. So that's really cool to hear that you are doing good. I know
it's so weird that somebody's watching me.
I know that can be really, it feels, I don't feel really bad, but I just want to really tell you that I've seen just in the short time that I've been meeting with you, and just from what I heard on that you're really a protected mom of your kids, and I can see that. So it sounds like moving forward, what I will be able to kind of come back and meet with you will be our housing application that we talked about, working on that, kind of talking about a crib for Cheryl, clothes for the kiddos, just kind of getting that worked out. Are there any other things that are important that we didn't talk about today that you would have liked us to?
Well, just like I said, like getting him at the rec center or something to go have some fun, because he deserves to get a break in the afternoon.
Okay. Mikey, what about you? Going forward, what would be the most important thing for you?
To have a place to live and eat real food.
Okay, so food and house, two big things.
Yep.
Okay. And it sounds like with school, Mikey, is your school near here?
Well, it's like 20-minute walk.
Okay.
It's like a 15-minute walk, but it's 20 minutes if I walk her way.
I don't let him take the shortcuts.
Okay, some
He has
shortcuts
to
to
go
get
on the
there.
main streets.
Yeah.
And so.
I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about school, Mikey. What school do you go to?
Howard Middle School.
Okay. And what grade are you in?
6th grade.
Okay. What's it like to be in 6th grade at Howard Middle School?
It's school.
School, yeah. Do you have any classes that you really like?
Gym class.
Gym class, okay. What do you like in gym class?
Shooting hoops.
Yeah, so
Or
basketball.
doing anything else, but shooting hoops.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves that.
Sounds like that's
He
a really
loves
big
it, and he's
thing.
really good. He is really good.
Okay. And so tell me, Mikey, what are some of your responsibilities that you're kind of in charge of? Sounds like watching Cheryl.
Watching Cheryl.
What other stuff?
I don't know. I guess, well, I do my homework, but I do my homework when I want to. Like if I have a good teacher, I'll always do my homework.
Okay.
If I have a average teacher, then I'll only do average homework.
What are your teachers like now?
There's a couple that are pretty good. most are okay and a couple suck.
Okay, so you kind of have like a big range of teachers right
Yep.
now. Okay.
And the ones that suck, I do just enough to pass their class, because I figure if they're not gonna try, why should I?
So that makes it hard to really get into the class if you feel like the teacher is not really trying.
Nope.
Okay. Tina, how do you feel like Mikey's been doing at school?
He does fine, especially with he's in middle school now. It's a new situation, and with all the stuff that's been going on, I think he's doing great. He's going to school, and he's not an A student, but like he said, he really responds to teachers, and if he has a good teacher, he does great. So, but he's okay. I mean, I don't think they get how imaginative he is and everything, but
Do you feel like he's doing good?
he's doing okay. Yeah.
Mikey, who do you feel like is a support to you? Do you know what that means?
Not really.
Like someone that you call or you talk to when you're having a hard day that can kind of help you feel better.
My superhero,
Who's that?
me.
You? So you kind of depend on yourself for some of that stuff.
Yeah, kind of like, you know how Superman goes and talks to his father even though his father's dead?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, but I'm talking to myself.
Okay. So you kind of like think about a problem, what you should do about it, and then kind of do it.
Yeah.
All yourself. Okay. Are there any other people besides you that you depend on when you're having a hard time?
When I'm having a hard time,
Mm-hmm.
I might talk to mom.
Okay.
She's usually pretty good. Sometimes she talks your head off.
Seems like she really cares about you though.
She does, and we work good as a team.
Yeah, I see that.
Sometimes she's also a mom.
Well, she is your mom, right? What about like friends at school?
I mean, there's a couple of guys I might have lunch with, or maybe shoot some basketball with, but I don't hang out with them after school or anything.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of friends.
Okay. So mostly it's just kind of you and mom.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It sounds like that's kind of how it's been too for a while. It's just you.
It's always,
and then
yeah,
you
it's
as our
always
team.
been like that. I mean, until Marvin came along, but,
Okay.
so they just texted me from work, and I gotta get in there in about 5 minutes. They'd like me to get over there and
Okay.
the shift, so
That sounds
if we can
wonderful.
maybe wrap things up.
Absolutely, and we're actually right about the end of what we were going to talk about today. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Tina, just to like kind of go over again so that we kind of understand exactly why I was here today, is because I want to be transparent. I want to make sure that you don't think that I'm hiding or keeping anything from you. So the call that we got talked about the drinking, wondering whether you're drinking, if the kids were okay. We talked about that. Sounds like you're willing to kind of address that if it becomes a problem again. But right now, it sounds like you have that under control.
Yeah.
You're not worried.
I'm not.
Okay. The other part of the call was that the kiddos were here by themselves. And, you know, in talking with you, Mikey having this class is amazing. I just watching him interact with her really briefly and hearing, sounds like he does a really good job of taking care of her.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
So I'm not worried about that. It sounds like, you know, maybe you are kind of wondering, like, is he having enough time to play and get out and do that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So we can look into childcare in the future. So the last thing I'll just touch on is kind of what I'm going to do next. So I've kind of committed to you that I'm going to bring you a housing application. We're going to go over that, kind of see where that ends up. I'm going to look into resources for him to get into the rec center to see if he can, you know, go there, either join a team or even just get in for a couple of hours after class, after school. We're going to look into resources for Cheryl, so the crib, clothes for both kids to see what we can do.
Yeah.
And then bus passes if you need them. Okay.
Yeah.
So all of these
That's
things
awesome.
I'm going
That's
to
all
look
good.
into. We can't, you know, I can't promise you anything, you know, will happen next time I meet you, but we can at least get it started. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be
So-
awesome. That would really help us get out of this hole.
Yeah. Okay. So before I go, are there any other things that you want me, that you think I should know that we didn't talk about?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Mikey, what about you? Anything else that I need to know that I didn't ask about today?
No, not that I can think of.
Nothing? Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much, Tina. I know it's really stressful to let a stranger into your, you know, your space.
Well, I'm
And
glad I did, Danielle, because I feel like you're gonna help us with some stuff we really need help with, so.
I'm really gonna try, Tina. So I really want to thank you for making the time to kind of meet today. This is my
Yeah.
card. I'm gonna leave that with you. Has my
Okay.
cell phone number on it. You can call me in between. I'll call you to set up our next meeting so I can bring that stuff to you. But if you come up with any questions, anything changes, feel free to give me a call and let me know.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All right, you guys have a
Great.
wonderful afternoon, okay? Bye,
Okay.
Mikey.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Cheryl.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you, Tina.
Okay, come on back in.
How was that experience?
Super weird. Yeah, it's just really like stressful because it's like it's the recording part for me. I was telling them it's like the hardest thing. But yeah,
Oh, really?
It was okay.
Having the camera and
Yeah.
having people, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I commend you for standing in the fire. Because first of all, it's not an easy task to do. And second of all, our human instinct is, oh, I know it, I understand it. And it's so much different when you walk through the fire.
Yeah.
And when you came in, I think you were engaged. I think you were working hard to connect. Your verbiage, I thought you had powerful verbiage. I think you weren't throwing out terminology that was, talk to me, and keeping them at a distance.
Okay.
It was like you were very kind of inclusive.
Okay, good.
So I thought how you came in, I think you very powerful work. It was great that you acknowledged Mikey. You did get a correction once.
Right.
It was covered. But I think you picked up that, and you followed it. But after that, it was Mikey, so you're listening.
Okay.
You had very good listening skills. I felt comfortable talking to you. I also had subtle feelings but I think this was part of your nerves, maybe. Plus, it's the time frame. You're trying to squeeze everything in.
Yeah.
But I felt comfortable talking to you, but I also got that you were an adult just getting information from me.
Okay.
So you had my buy-in because
Yeah.
How you were talking, your energy, your openness. But it was also one of those things where it was like you were jumping back and forth so much that it was like, I still wasn't sure. Like for me, it's like, yeah, we'll see what you do.
Okay.
So, but it's kind of cool because I had the opportunity to sit here and take that in. And I think how you were talking was powerful, how you were flowing with it. I mean, I didn't get that you were totally stuck in an agenda.
Okay.
I thought you were really moving with it, which is you're dealing with human beings, so I think that's great.
Cool.
And so this note is actually, it's a high level note, okay? So, and the note is this, is your pace, how you talk is quickly, which I didn't have a problem with at all.
Okay.
If you can slow down the transitions a little bit.
Okay.
Because you would ask a question, and as soon as you got your answer, you were off to the next.
Okay. Okay.
And so what it did was, it was like, for me, it was like, is she really listening or not listening? And you are listening.
Yeah.
So you have good listening skills.
Okay.
But maybe in those transitions, because you're dealing with other people who process differently, answer slowly.
Right.
So when you do that quick transition, even though it was all good stuff, it kind of was like, is she listening? Did she hear me? Is she just getting what she wants? And so it's just that subtle finesse.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I appreciate it.
How was it for you?
I agree. I mean, I think coming to the door and getting in the door and getting yourself to a place where you can get to know us, I thought you handled that very, very well.
Okay.
I mean, the information, I mean, you've had a call and you need to come here and assess the safety of this place. We get a lot of candidates who say exactly that, but it's not very conducive to building a relationship. And you were able to come up with a way to phrase what you needed to do in a very appealing and appetizing way to allow me to let you in.
Okay.
I mean, we have some worries. These people call from the community. I'm here to get to know you. Our priority is keeping families together. All this positive stuff that is absolutely dead on true.
Right.
But most people forget that that's the truth. I mean, yes, it's very sad when I think you said something like, sometimes we do have to take some kids out of a home when they just aren't safe.
Right.
But we really want to help families stay together, and we're here to help you. We have stuff to, so I thought, wow, beautiful job with that.
Okay.
I agree, your pace is quick because you're intelligent, you're sharp, you listen very well. So you're like, boom, 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 let's get this done. And I do think you may leave some people behind that way. Yeah. But and on the other hand, I felt like you had a beautiful mix of building rapport, connecting, and also kind of, I want to say guiding, I guess would be the word, guiding things to go the way you want them to go.
Okay.
Let's do this exercise together. Here's what's going to happen. He's going to do this. We're going to talk, but not in an offensive way.
Right.
But still getting your needs met and getting what you need to find out. So
Yeah, I want to add on that because it was just going through my head a couple times. I thought you did a wonderful job how you were asking questions to get information.
Okay.
Not from an accusatory, not
Yes.
from, I mean, even when you were being transparent, because when you threw out that word, it was like, my nerves kind of went, I'm going to be transparent with
Right.
you, and it was like, all right, what's she going to drop now?
Yeah.
But then as you kind of shared it,
Mhm.
it was just informational, and you were acknowledging what she has done, and
Right.
you were giving build up to the effort that was there, rather than you're not doing this right.
Right.
We need this, and so I think it was very nice how you were supportive, yet you led with a strong,
yeah.
and so that sort of feedback, the I would say, don't worry about slowing your pace down, because
Okay.
I think it's great that, I agree with Alex. I think you're very intelligent. You're firing on all cylinders. Just maybe try a technique of drop in one or two moments in the listening transition phase.
Right. Okay.
And just know that in your strategy of like,
Mhm.
I'm hearing you. I
Mhm.
just want to know that you know that I'm still there with you and
Right.
bringing you along.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us specifically?
No, I think your feedback was really helpful.
Good.
Good.
Was
Was
the
this useful?
experience? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very, very useful. It was very good to kind of come in and just try some of the stuff that I've been, learning about. And
Mhm.
it's good to know that, however it goes, at the end of the day, there's not a real safety concern for a kiddo. So that feels really good to know that, I can just come in, try things out with you guys, see how it goes, and then learn from it.
Awesome.
One little side note too, just so you know,
Mhm.
this is and I think this was part of your pace thing, but it
Mhm.
happens all the time. What's this?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Why did he scratch out?
Right.
And the only reason I highlight that is because we're self-preserving mechanisms. So him, it's like he put it down, but then he's like,
Never mind.
changed his mind.
Right.
Now, it might just be a script. You might be like, well, Mikey, what's this? Oh, I meant to do this, but I
Right.
did that.
Okay. Yeah. That's
But
really
you might uncover something. So I use that as where it's like, kind of listen with not only your eyes, but your whole essence. Because you might find a doorway that you didn't realize was
Right.
there.
Cool. I like that.
So,
That's really helpful. Yeah.
because this actually was a lead in to the fact of he still is concerned about her getting sick.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
and all I ask, I think you did wonderful work. When you do watch this back, when you do get your other feedback, please be very generous with yourself.
Okay.
Really focus.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's hard being
Yeah.
videotaped and stuff, but the thing is there's a lot of gold there.
Okay.
And so if you're looking at it, look at, gosh, I like how I phrased that.
Right.
I liked how I did that transition, or I liked how I got her to feel, it sounds like she felt comfortable.
Okay.
Or maybe I'd like to say this a little different, but really focus on the gold. If you focus on the other stuff.
Right. Okay.
So,
Cool.
all right, thanks, sir.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.